Hi everybody! Well, welcome back to our channel, and I think this is going to be the first video upload of me talking about a test set in the year 2020, so Happy New Year guys! Well, today I've got a test set. Actually, it's coming from November of 2019, so it's about a month and a half old, but still it's relatively new, so we're going to talk about these questions that appeared on the actual test in November. By the way, I saw somebody mention about my new phone. Yes, I got this iPhone 11 Pro. It's quite expensive, so I'm taking a good care of it. Yes, but I dropped it twice already. Okay, so I'm going to read the first passage for you guys. It's part one. There are two passages, but I'm going to read the first one. So listen carefully. The town of Centerville is preparing for a special occasion. It is designed to appeal to successful entrepreneurs. There will be great food, live entertainment, and a speech from the mayor of Centerville. To purchase tickets, visit the city's website. Okay, so this is actually an announcement about an event. It's a special occasion of Centerville. The name of the place is called Centerville. So when you're reading this, it's more like the stress goes on the first syllable, Centerville, or you could say Centerville with the soft T sound. Now, when you are, or putting those three things in order, the first one is great food. The second one is live entertainment. The same thing goes with this word entertainment. You can, just make the real true sound of T by saying entertainment, or sort of make the softened T sound, which is entertainment. Okay? And the third one is a speech from the mayor, So here it goes. There will be there will be great food, live entertainment, and a speech from the mayor of Centerville. Okay, so that was a little, tricky part there. And I always mention to my students, the word purchase. I see a lot of my students say purchase, which is not the right sound for this word. The correct sound is purchase. And that's because the stress goes on the first syllable. So you do not say that A sound as if you're saying a chase something, okay? So it's purchase, the schwa sound and everything. You do not make the A sound clearly, okay? And then the huge word here is entrepreneurs, okay? So it sounds like French or something, but the word is entrepreneurs, and there's something called entrepreneurship, okay? So entrepreneurs, it's not entree, it's entrepreneurs. So the stress goes on entrepreneurs, the last syllable, all right? So entrepreneurs, that's a very hard word. So overall, I'm going to read this again. Listen carefully to how I make those soft T sounds and the word entrepreneurs, okay? So listen carefully. The town of Centerville is preparing for a special occasion. It is designed to appeal to successful entrepreneurs. There will be great food, live entertainment, and a speech from the mayor of Centerville. To purchase tickets, visit the city's website. Okay, so you have to be careful of some words here. It wasn't so easy, but I wouldn't say it's like the hardest one you can face or you can deal with on the test. So just be, careful with some of the words there. All right, so that was part one. Those are some words that could be very tricky and challenging. We're going to move on to part two. Now, this is overall, a lot of things are happening in this picture. You can see a group of people sitting down and talking. You can see some people walking. And also, you see a stairway back there, and, people are walking down the stairway. So everything's happening in this picture. You have to sort of cover up each and every part of this picture. So that's the most, challenging part. And I think it's a hospital because people are wearing gowns and, obviously there are some nurses and doctors there. So you can say this is a picture taken in a hospital or at a hospital. Walking, sitting down, talking, using a laptop computer, things like that. And, overall, looks like people are very busy, right? People are working hard, they're busy. It doesn't look at all like they're, fooling around or just hanging around at a hospital. Obviously, these people are some people who are working at the hospital. So I'm going to say that those people are just working there. Okay, so I've got my phone ready. Actually, it's out of battery right now, so it's plugged in and I'm going to use it. It's on. I'm going to talk for 45 seconds. Okay, guys, ready? Well, this is a picture taken in a hospital and there are many people in this picture. On the left side of the picture, I can see 3 people. They are sitting down, sitting around the table and talking to one another. One of them is using a laptop computer and 2 of them are wearing white gowns and one of them, looks like a nurse. On the right side of the picture, I can see some people walking. One of them is wearing a blue gown or uniform. I can see his back. And in the background of the picture, there is a stairway and 2 people are walking down the stairs. And on the left side of the picture, I can see big windows and maybe people are busy working hard. Okay, so that was 45 seconds. So I was like all confused at first when I saw this picture, but you have to be in control of your answer. You have to be ready. You have to get ready during the preparation time, which is 45 seconds. So the first thing you have to do is you have to divide the sections. Like, oh, I'm going to talk about the left side first. I'm going to talk about the right side first. And then if I have time, I'm going to talk about the background. So you have to divide the picture. And afterwards, you have to think about the words that you're going to be using to describe each part. Like I said, sitting down, talking, and using a laptop computer for the left side. And for the right side, I said walking, and I can see his back. I can see his back, that expression there, and walking down the stairs or walking up the stairs if people are walking up. So those are some procedures. That's the procedure that you have to go through during the preparation time. And actually, you can take notes, but nowadays people like to take notes, but not for part 2. Like I totally agree with Tony in Japan. He told me that, he doesn't recommend people taking notes for part 2. And in the beginning, I saw some students taking notes. So I said, I sort of disagree on that because I see some, students are making use of their note taking for part 2. But, as time goes by, more students agree with, they don't have to actually take notes for part 2. So I also recommend that way. I say, for part 2, just focus on the picture. Don't try to write so much because you get confused. So just rather focus on the picture and just think about all the words that you will use. Okay, you will talk during the preparation time. Okay, so my conclusion is 45 seconds is a long time to prepare a 45-second answer, but still, it's not enough time to write everything, okay? You can fully focus, you should be fully focused on preparing your answer, period. Okay, moving on to part 3. Now, part 3 is a part where they're giving you 3 seconds of preparation time, which seems like a little funny. Actually, I thought it was very funny in the beginning, but some friends, some students say, oh, you know what, I need that 3 seconds because I have to sort of absorb what the question is asking. I have to sort of translate the question. So I really think that 3 seconds of time is really helpful. All right, so it's not any time to write something down for your answer, but still you can absorb what the question is about, asking for, and you can sort of get ready to answer. All right, so this time they want to collect information about electricity bills. Electricity bills, all right. These topics are getting crazier and crazier, and I've seen some questions that has appeared in the test for 2020 January, and they, some questions are getting really, really out of control. So topic here, electricity bills, I think some students might say, oh my gosh, I don't think I can say any answer to any of those questions. And well, yeah, it's quite tough. So I'm going to show you how I would answer it, okay? So the first question is, who pays for the electricity in your household, and do you think it is expensive or not? All right. Well, I pay for the electricity in my household because I live alone, I have to support myself, and I'm in charge of the electricity bill. And I pay about $10 per month, and I think it is reasonable. All right? So yeah, I don't stay home most of the time, so I don't pay a whole lot for my electricity bill, but I think I pay about $10 to $20, and I really think it's reasonable. Okay, not too expensive, not too cheap, but I think it's reasonable. All right. Okay, the second question is, have you called an electricity supplier to complain about the electricity bills? Last summer, I did actually. I called the electricity supplier to complain about the electricity bills because I had to pay almost $100. It was too expensive. I know I used a lot of my air conditioning system, but it was very shocking, so I called and complained. All right. So mostly in the summer times, in summer we use the air conditioning, system, air conditioner, and the bills tend to go up really high. So that's what I talked about in summer. Or last summer, I paid a huge amount and I complained about it. Okay? Because when you say no, like all these questions, when you say no to the questions, no for your answer, then you don't have much to say. And if you don't fully fulfill that 15 seconds or 30 seconds of time, then they tend to not give you a good score. So it's better to say, affirmative answers, positive, like yes answers, and like explain more about it. Or even if you gave a negative answer saying no, then you have to sort of like add on to that answer, okay? You can't just say no, all right? That's not good enough to get better score. So just remember that. Try to add on more things to your simple answer, okay? Now, moving on to the last question, which is question 6. I really love my new phone because it has a Face ID, so I don't have to go through all that, fingerprints and everything. When I show my face, it just opens up. It's like, it's magical. So the last question is, what are some ways to lower your electricity bills? All right, lower. Now, actually, I'm a student, so I go to school every day and I try not to stay in my house all day. So I don't have to use lots of electricity. But sometimes on weekends, I want to take a rest, so I stay home all day long. And when I'm at my house, I do many things such as watching TV, using computer, and so on. So, in order to lower my electricity bill, I guess I would have to go outside, I would have to stay outside and try not to stay home. Okay. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Okay? Because when you're home, you just have to use electricity for something, right? You're either watching your TV or using your computer. I know they say, using computer and watching TV doesn't cost you lots of electricity, actually, you don't have to pay much for those kind of electricity, but still, they're asking for ways to lower your electricity bills. So that's what I thought. Like, just go out, stay outside, and I won't be, using all those electronics, right? Maybe that's one way. And also, this is true for summer times because in summer, if you stay home, you would have to obviously turn on your AC, and it means money, money, money. So, I used to do that all the time when I was a student. I would just go out, like banks used to be my favorite place to be in the summertime because, AC system in banks are, I don't know why, but they're more powerful. Like when you step into the bank, it's like cooler. It's like the coolest place on earth during the summertime. So I would go somewhere else, like cafes. They have AC on all the time. I would go to the school library. It's cooler than my house. So I just would stay outside all day long. So I wouldn't have to turn on the AC at my house, which could, contribute to paying higher electricity bills. So that's one way that I recommend. Go outside, stay outside, just come home and sleep and just go outside again. Yeah, that's, I guess, one way. Now we're going to move on to part 4. I see a chart here. It says on the top, monthly meeting. It's a meeting schedule. And on the top, there's a date, there's the room, it's the main meeting room. On the left, there are times, there's a topic in the middle, and on the right side, I can see the names of the speakers and their positions. Like, for instance, there's a CEO speaking, there's the HR director who's speaking, marketing manager, finance manager. All these people are speaking during the meeting. So, yeah. And the first question says, who is giving the updates on new hiring and what time will it start? Okay, who's giving the updates on new hiring? And it's there. So, at 2 p.m., there will be a speech on updates on new hiring given by Cheyenne McDonald, the HR director. So please remember that. Okay, so in my answer, I provided all the information related to the questions being asked. Now, the second question says, I think I'll be able to attend a meeting after an important lunch appointment I have with a client. Will I miss any sessions if I arrive at 1? Okay, if you arrive at 1, obviously no. No, because it will start. The first meeting will start at 1:30 p.m. So you will not miss anything. The first session will start at 1:30, so you won't miss anything. Don't worry, just be there before 1:30. Okay. So these are the questions that are asking, like that are making you confused, because like the person says, I'm going to arrive there at, after lunch. I'm going to arrive there around 1 p.m. And obviously when you look at the schedule, the first session starts at 1:30. So, the person is not going to be missing anything. So you just kindly explain to the person that no, you will not miss anything. Or you can, shorten that word by saying, contract the words by saying, no, you won't miss anything. Okay? So yeah, that was the answer. The last question is, I'm interested in the sales of our new product line. What are all the sessions led by the sales director? Okay, so the sales director, I see 2 at 2:30 and then at 4:30, right? So those are the 2 things that I would have to talk about, obviously. So here you go. There are 2. At 2:30 p.m., Lisa Michael, the sales director, will give a presentation on new product line sales report. And at 4:30 p.m., there will be a presentation on sales strategies given by Lisa Michael, the sales director. So both of them are both sessions are led by the sales director, Lisa Michael. Okay? So when you're taking this part, when you're saying it's a presentation, you have to use it with the verb give. So it naturally goes with give a presentation. This is how you have to say it, give a presentation. And when you want to, deliver this as a speech, when you want to say this is a speech, then you would have to say give a speech, give a speech. Because speech matches with the word give, the verb give. But when you want to say the word session, it's a different story. Session goes with the word lead or led by. So somebody will lead a session, or there will be a session led by somebody. So there are some matching words that you have to be aware of when you are taking this part, okay? When you're giving answers for this part, you have to be aware of the matching verbs, the matching prepositions. Like in front of time, hour, like at 1:30, you would always have to use the preposition at. And in front of the date, like Monday, September 11th, you would always have to match that kind of information with the preposition on. Okay, so that is the hard part about this part. You have to know which prepositions are right, which verbs are right to use certain nouns. Okay, so yeah, you have to work on that a little bit. Now, moving on to part 5. All right, and here is the message. It's from Wilma Johnson, the owner of the restaurant. So listen up. Hi, I'm the owner of the restaurant Wilma Johnson, and as you know, I opened the restaurant last year. Business has been great, has been stable in recent months, which is good for me. I want to start marketing more aggressively in order to attract more customers. I had some ideas in mind, so I decided to try them. I want to find a way to have people post reviews on the internet. However, I'm not sure how I should do that. I need to find out some ways to make people write online reviews about my restaurant. That's why I'm calling you. As the manager of the restaurant, what would you do in my situation? How would you get people to post reviews on the internet? I could really use your advice with this situation. I heard that you are experienced with this sort of thing, so please think about the situation and call me back at 547-1325. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so this is the owner calling and you guys are the manager, all right? So the owner of the restaurant wants to hear your opinion on what are we going to do? How are we going to make people write reviews? Which a lot of restaurants nowadays are doing, right? People write reviews, more people read the reviews, and they would visit. So it's like an essential marketing strategy nowadays. So how are we going to make them do it? Like reward them, right? Give coupons or like discount coupons or free dishes, vouchers to them when they write. And you can, if you have regulars, there's got to be a reason for them to be regulars, right? So ask them to write, ask them for a favor. That's a good way, right? So for this part, it's really important that you fully understand what's going on, and you have to sort of summarize the parts of message, the thing that you heard. You have to summarize it and show them that you actually understood everything, and the solutions that you provide has to match up with the situation. Okay, it has to be relevant. You cannot just say, oh, you know what, just like Google it. Why don't you look up on Google and you'll find some advice there. Some people, like some, I know teachers are giving out tips like, oh, when you say, look up Google, like use Google, why don't you Google this up? Then, of course, there's everything on Google nowadays, right? If you Google something, something's gonna pop up, but it's not really clearly giving an idea. It's not really relevant to the situation, okay? So it's really important that you give specific solution, okay? To show them that you really understood. So that's what I'm going to do. And second thing you must remember is that you have to use a template. You have to have your own template. You don't have to use my template. You don't have to use somebody else's template, but you have to have your own template, okay? You can arrange some wordings to make it feel more comfortable when you're saying them, but I recommend using mine. That's totally fine with me, okay? But try to have a template that you're going to use for this part of the test. It's always going to help you save more, fulfill that 1 minute, okay? It's easier to design your answer. So here it goes. Hello, this is Gwen, the manager of the restaurant. I heard that you are the restaurant owner and you want to attract more customers. However, there's a problem because you want to make the customers write online reviews, but you don't know how to do that. So you'd like to get some help with this matter. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear about the situation. However, I'm happy to say that there is a way to help you out. And after looking into the situation, I came up with the following suggestions. Well, first, I think it is a good idea to give a free dish to people, or a person who writes or posts a review on social media. That should be very effective. And why don't you, ask the regular customers for their participation? I mean, that should be possible if they really like our restaurant, right? So those are my suggestions. And if you need more help, just feel free to call me back anytime. Bye. Okay, so for most of the time, I wasn't even looking at the timer, but I was sure that I would be able to finish the answer in 1 minute. Like that, because I was using my template, okay? And whenever I use my template, I am so confident that whatever I say, it's gonna, just fit in that 1 minute limit. So I use my template, you can use my template, or you make up your own template and use a template, okay? That's the most important part for this part. Of course, you have to listen. You got to be able to listen to figure out the right situation and provide the right answer. But still, template is the most important thing. Okay. All right, and part 6, the question goes, when learning new skills at work, would you prefer to learn one-on-one from a supervisor or do a group training? Okay, so there are 2 suggestions here. Do you want one-on-one lessons or a group training? And I would say, I always tell you guys that you guys are all working at ABC company, you guys are newbie, and you have a great supervisor named Tom. So this guy, Tom, could actually give you one-on-one lessons, like one-on-one pinpointers, so that you could improve quickly. Or you could always say, this is a big company, there are many workshops, I participate, I learn, and it was very helpful. So actually either way is fine for my students, I think. Okay. All right. Sometimes this phone at night when I'm going to take off my makeup has a hard time, reading my face, especially when the light's off. So I have to turn on, at least have one light on for it to have, read my face. So yeah, my phone is getting used to my face nowadays. Okay, so I am going to say, I would prefer to learn one-on-one from a supervisor when I learn new skills at work. There are several reasons to support my opinion. And most of all, it is very helpful for me, and I think it is more effective. For example, last year I got a job at ABC Company and I worked in the marketing department. At that time, I was a newbie, so I didn't have any experience, I didn't have knowledge, and I didn't know what to do at work. But luckily, I met this very nice supervisor named Tom. He had lots of experience and knowledge. He was really kind, and he was willing to help me. So he taught me many things. He gave me lots of tips and advice, and sometimes he even stayed after work to train me. I was very thankful to him. So I was able to learn many things from him one-on-one. And after 1 month, I was able to perform better. I was able to work better. It was very helpful for me. And that's why I think so. Okay. So after 1 month being able to perform, well, that's really quick, right? That's really fast. And that's why I said I prefer one-on-one. Okay. Some Koreans say one-to-one, and the right way of saying that is one-on-one. Okay, so I prefer that one-on-one tips, one-on-one session, one-on-one lessons, and it's much helpful for me. And obviously, the question for part 6, it's going to be on the screen. So I always tell my students, you don't have to create all the words and languages. You can always use the words there in the question. So have your eyes fixed on the screen. I know you guys are taking notes, but when you focus too much on the notes, you forget about what's on the screen, right? So the simplest way, the easiest way to do it is you pick up the note, put it next to the screen, and have your eyeballs rolling, like go side to side. You can do that. You don't have to go like this, right? So make sure you pick this up, put it next to the screen, and compare it with the question while you're answering. And just use both, the screen and whatever note you took. So that was the test set from November. It's actually November 24th. And I say this test was really easy. The picture, the chart. I think part 3 was a little hard, electricity bill. That was shockingly hard. But other than that, I think overall, if you're prepared, if you studied, if you have, dealt with TOEIC speaking types of questions, I'm pretty sure that test would have been very comfortable and easy for you. But depends. So we're talking about speaking test, right? And when you're preparing for a speaking test, you have to speak. People, you have to talk. You have to exercise your mouth and tongue and voice and everything. So make sure you go somewhere, noisy. It's better to go somewhere noisy than to go to a library and practice speaking. I see some students going to a library. I'm like, well, why are you going to libraries? I mean, libraries are supposed to be quiet and you're not supposed to talk. And right now you're getting ready for a speaking test and you're supposed to talk a lot and loudly. So pack your bags, go to a cafe, go to somewhere really noisy. And I think that's going to really help you practice, for better results. So thanks for being with me on this, session, and I'll be back soon with another test set. And until then, bye-bye.